guys, it's your girl T, and it's time for another recap of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, aka The Bold and the Ratchet. So I got a chance to finally sit down and watch the show today. All I saw was a bunch of mess. So let's go ahead, sip some tea, and do this recap. So in the opening scene, we had Tierra Marie, and she's meeting with a woman called Miss Diddy, and Miss Diddy works with Sincere. So we finally get to find out what Sincere does, because he's all through this show, really serving no purpose, but this time he finally introduces us to his world. What he does, he's a promoter, and he's one of the most popular promoters in Hollywood, him and Miss Diddy. And basically, Tierra Marie has decided that she wants to get back on the stage, and she feels like she wants to fill out this huge venue. But Sincere pops her damn bubble and tells her, you know what, Tierra, you haven't had a hit in years. Nobody really knows who you are. Nobody's really checking for you like that. You need to have a more intimate gathering. And of course, Tierra Marie's taking offense to everything he's telling her because he's coming at her really, really bluntly, and he's really, really rude too as well. He makes a lot of little sly remarks. So Tierra Marie's getting up in her feelings, and she's like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and bite my tongue, listen to what they have to say, because, you know, they've been in the industry for a while, and they got this. So Tierra Marie finally agrees to just go ahead with what Sincere is telling her because she doesn't want to argue back and forth any longer. Moving on to the next scene. So the next scene we have Yesi and Morgan, and once again, Yesi is being very damn messy. We're going to start calling her Messy Yesi. So Yesi decides to invite Morgan to come down to the Powerhouse. They're having this huge event. She wants Morgan to host on the red carpet and do some entertaining journalism. So Morgan is really excited, but she's also scared. She's like, well, I don't know. I'm supposed to be there helping Ray J. I'm his personal assistant. And Yesi's telling her, you know what? You have to start thinking for yourself. You have to start doing Morgan. You have to start putting Morgan first. And Morgan's like, you know what? I think you're right. I'm going to talk to Ray J later on and let him know about this opportunity. And I'm sure Ray J will be happy for me. So Yesi's like, okay, fine. So if he's going to be happy for you, what's the problem? So finally, after a lot of so-called pressure, Morgan decides to take Yesi up on her offer and decides to go down there and host a red carpet event at the Powerhouse. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have our favorite B2K members after Raz B. So anyways, Omarion and Fizz are meeting up at the restaurant. They haven't, hung out in a while. Fizz hasn't seen Omarion since Leslie went off at the baby shower. So they're meeting to just talk about everything. Omarion's excited. The baby will be here shortly. And Fizz basically wants to talk to Omarion and get his advice on this whole situation that's going on with Amanda. He tells Omarion that he has decided to move Amanda in with him, that he wants to be with Amanda. And Omarion's like, that's cool, but you guys have only been together for 2 years. Do you think that you're moving kind of fast? And Lil Fizz is like, well, no, I really wanted to be a mother to my son, and my son really likes her as well. And then Little Fizz ends up dropping the bomb on Omarion and admits to Omarion that at one point in time Amanda cheated on him and basically got a condo in her name for her little side piece down in Miami. So whenever he would fly in from Miami to LA, they had a place, set up and everything, and that they would just creep with each other. And when Fizz found out, it really broke his heart. And Omarion's looking at him like, fool, are you fucking serious right now? You're taking her back after she cheated on you and got a place in her name for another dude? Like, what's wrong with you? You act like that's your baby's mother. You don't have to put up with that. And Little Fizz is like, you know what? I've done a lot in my past. I've done a lot of shady things too, so I can't really knock her. I felt like it was my karma for cheating on, girls I had been with before her. So, and I really love her, what I'm saying? If I didn't love her, I wouldn't have forgave her. I wouldn't have allowed her back into my world. I wouldn't have, made her my girl again. I wouldn't have her around my son. So Marion's like, damn, what I'm saying? You must really be in love with her. But you can tell by Marion's expression, he's looking at his friend like, he's really troubled by this whole situation, because he's looking at Fizz like, dude, you're a fool in love right now. And I don't know if you really want to be with this girl because you love her, or because you're so desperate to find Cameron a mother. So the whole situation with them was really interesting. And I really love how Marion was hitting Fizz with those hard questions. What I'm saying? That's a true friend. A true friend's going to look out for you. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to say things that you don't want to hear, so that way you can see all aspects. I think Omarion is definitely a good friend to Little Fizz, and hopefully Little Fizz will take some of his advice. Moving on to the next scene. So the next scene we have Masika, and Masika's meeting up with her friend Sam. Her friend Sam is like a rich business owner. He plans on opening some more classy strip clubs, and he wants to open them up in LA and up in Vegas, and he wants Masika to be the face of the strip club because he thinks that she's a beautiful girl, she has a nice body, and she'll look really good on all these billboards across LA and across Vegas. So of course Masika's really, really excited, and she's like, well, who's going to be the, the owner of the strip clubs? Because I know you're coming in as an investor. Who's going to be the owner? And then in all its scripted glory, Sam drops the bombshell, and of course the owners of the strip club are none other than Nikki Baby's parents. As we all know, Miss Nikki Baby's parents are rich as hell, so they're going to be the owners of the strip club, and Masika's turned off. She's really upset. She's like, you know what, I got into it with their daughter, you know, over Molly Mall. It's all this big thing. Me and her got into it. I don't know if that's going to work out. And Sam's like, you know what, I can't let you, you know, mess up my opportunity because of some beef you have with Miss Nikki Baby. You need to handle that. You need to dead that. You know what I'm saying? Stop tripping off of that. I want you to be the model. I want you on all these billboards, and I think it's a good look for you. So then finally Masika's like, you know what, bet, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till Nikki sees my face plastered all over her parents' strip club. And she's really boosted like she has one up on Nikki. Honey, all you're doing is a print ad. You know what I'm saying? You might walk away with a few stacks, you know, maybe between $2,500 to $5,000 for this print ad. But Nikki's family, they're what you call wealthy, okay? They're writing checks for your homeboy Sam, okay? They're writing checks so you can get paid. So you don't have one up on Nikki because Nikki's a trust fund baby. So when all the modeling gigs dry up and you're no longer able to model and be on billboards, Nikki's still going to have her wealth. And see, that's the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Her family has generational wealth, so Nikki's good, so boo, you don't have one up on her just because you're on a billboard. It's sad that some of us think that being on a billboard is somehow making it. No, the owners of that business, the owners of that company that's putting you on that billboard, they're the ones making the big bucks, Masika. So don't get too blindsided by the glitz and glamour. Moving on to the next scene. So the next scene, we have Little Fizz and Amanda. Little Fizz decides to take Amanda out on a date. And while they're out on their dinner date, his phone is blowing up. Moniece is steadily calling him. And, you know, Amanda's getting irritated. She's like, no, why does she keep calling? And Little Fizz is like, she wants to come get Cameron. And I told her she's not getting Cameron because she doesn't have a stable place to stay. And, you know, I don't want my son just all over LA. So then Little Fizz tells Amanda that, you know what, I really want to take this to the next level. I've forgiven you for your infidelity and everything you put me through. I want you to move in with me. I want us to play house. I want you to be a mother to my son. And you can just tell that Amanda's just really, really uncomfortable with this situation. You know what I'm saying? Amanda loves Little Fizz and she likes Cameron, but she's not ready to be a mother. She's not ready to settle down yet. You know, she's only 25 years old. Like I said before, if she wanted a kid, she could have been had a kid. You know what I mean? So it's like she's not really down to go down that road, and Little Fizz just keeps trying to pressure her. And it's like, dude, fall back. You're going to end up chasing this girl away. That's not what she wants. She wants you guys to be in a relationship, but she doesn't want to play house. And I don't blame her. Why should she have to play house when you're not willing to commit to her? You know what I'm saying? You're not giving her a ring. You're not trying to wife her up, but yet and still you want her to play the role of a mother and a wife? Hell nah. Amanda, keep it moving. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have Ray J, and Ray J is upset. Can somebody please explain to me why Ray J is so damn turned up in his confessionals? He's like, yeah, I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? Morgan got me fucked up. I'm thirsty right now. She's supposed to have my water. That's what I'm paying her for. She's a personal assistant. How dare she? I'm just like, damn, Ray J, calm the hell down, dude. Like, he's just so turned up in his confessional. Dude is pissed off. He feels like Morgan is playing him. Morgan's trying to be famous. She's not playing her position. And I'm like, okay, Ray J, we understand, but don't punch me through the damn TV. I'm not Morgan, honey. I'm just sitting here trying to watch the show and sip some tea. I don't need to catch a left hook. I mean, he was just bugging in his confessional. He was going off. So he's just really upset about the whole situation. He goes to confront Miss Jessie, and he's like, you know what, Miss Jessie, you're doing a little bit too much. You're getting too involved in me and Morgan's relationship. You know what I mean? She's my personal assistant. That's what I'm paying her for. And for you to try and get her another job doing correspondent work, that's not cool. And Miss Jessie's like, you know what? Well, and Messy Yessie's like, well, you know what? Morgan needs to step out on her own. She needs to come out of your shadow. Morgan is a very talented girl, and I want to see her do more. So they're kind of going back and forth and everything. And Morgan ends up walking into the trailer. She's like, I don't understand what the problem is. Why are you guys fighting? This is supposed to be an exciting time for me. And Rachel's like, you didn't even tell me any of this. You know, you're supposed to be here giving away hats, getting me my water, being my personal assistant, my right-hand person, and I turn around, you're on the red carpet doing correspondent work, but I'm paying you to be my personal assistant. Now I understand where Ray J's coming from, because at the end of the day, Ray J's her boss. You know what I'm saying? Ray J is cutting her a check to do her job. You can't just tell your boss no and then go do something else without properly explaining it to him. Morgan never sat down with Ray J and said, you know what, I can't help you this Saturday because I'm going to be doing this red carpet event. She basically just let Ray J see her out there there, and you know, it confused the hell out of him. And I don't blame him, because you can tell he's paying Morgan really good money. And if Morgan don't want that personal assistant job, honey, Ray J, I'm free. I'll take it. I know how to be a damn good personal assistant, okay? She has a good job with benefits, probably some side dick, because the way they keep arguing, going back and forth, you can't tell me they ain't never fucked. But my thing is, Morgan, if you don't like your job and you don't want to be Ray J's personal assistant, you need to let that go and go pursue your own career. But you can't be unprofessional, you know what I'm saying? Not telling him where you're about to be, what you're going to do. You can't have him thinking that you're going to be in one place having his back, but then you're all about self. You know, you can't do that. So I do stand with Ray J on that, but I'm going to need Ray J to turn it down just a little bit, because you was a little bit too damn crunk in your confessional. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have Masika, and she's in a tub full of fake rhinestones and bootleg diamonds, and she has on no clothes, and they're taking pictures of her, and she looks really pretty. Her makeup is on point. So Miss Nikki Baby decides to come and crash her photo shoot, because of course this photo shoot is for her family's, you know, stripper business. Miss Nikki Baby tells Masika, you know, when you're done with this photo shoot thing, go put your clothes on. Me and you need to have a conversation about everything that went down. So Miss Nikki Baby feels like because Masika was so turned up and she felt in her spirit that Molly wasn't really being honest with her, that she really wanted to talk to Masika about everything that went down that day at Molly's house. So she wanted to know what exactly happened. Did Masika and Molly sleep together? So Masika comes out from the back. She's completely dressed, and she sits down to talk to Miss Nikki Baby. And she basically tells Miss Nikki Baby that her man Molly Mal's a liar, and that they were intimate, they had sex. She thought that they were in a relationship together, and obviously Molly was playing the both of them. And then she shows Miss Nikki Baby the text messages. You could just see her face. She was looking like, oh my God, this fool don't lie. And we're all watching this shit like, bitch, of course he lied. He's a man. Men lie all the damn time. And of course they're going to deny if he feels like he's going to lose his main chick. You know, it's like, come on, Miss Nikki Baby. You really believe Molly? You know what I mean? So after Masika shows her the text messages, she's like, you know what? I know what I need to do. I need to confront him about this. I can't stand the fact that he tried to play us against each other and that he lied to me. Me and him are better than that. So Masika's like, you know what? You go do what you got to do. That's your man. I'm done with him. I'm on to bigger and better things. I have too many guys in the industry who want me. I don't have to trip out for Molly Mal or nobody. So Miss Nikki Baby ends up walking out the scene, you know what I'm saying, trying to play it off like it's not bothering her, but you can tell deep down inside she's truly bothered by those text messages that she read. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, it's the big night of the showcase. Tia Marie is on stage and she just looks funny. Her face is super swollen. Her stomach is super big. She has on cat ears. But the worst part of it all is she starts singing. She's off key. I mean, she just sounds really, really bad. And I feel bad for her. And you can tell that Sincere is sincerely regretting signing her to this project. He feels like he wants to drag Tia Marie off the stage and literally just, you know, run away from this entire project because his name is on this whole showcase. You can tell that he's embarrassed, Miss Diddy's embarrassed, and most of all, Tia Marie's upset, and folks were dragging her up and down Twitter. I saw some of the memes today and I fell the hell out. Now, after the showcase, they start talking, and Sincere is just blunt with it. He's like, you know what, Ma, you're not ready. You need to hit the gym. Your stomach is out of control. Your face is swollen. Your vocals weren't on point. I'm really, really disappointed because my name is on this. You better Google who I am. Like, this dude is so conceited. And Tia Marie's like, you got me fucked up. Who do you think you are? You act like you're just this big time, you know, Hollywood person. Like, you're a club promoter. You know what I'm saying? You need to bring it down a notch. You act like you Diddy or somebody. And then now her and Sincere start going back and forth, and he's going off on her. And then Tia Marie turns around and she just swings on him, but she ends up missing, and security jumps in. And it's just like, you know what, Tia Marie, you need to get your anger under control. This is why nobody takes you serious, because you don't know how to control your anger. You have no right to hit on anybody. Now, if that grown-ass man would have hit your ass back, Tia Marie would be the first one falling out on the floor, screaming, crying, rolling around, talking about, he hit me. I can't believe he hit me. Even though she swung on this man first. You know, this whole situation is just a mess. I feel like both Tia Marie and Sincere are both assholes, and they deserve each other. They're both really blunt, and that's why they can't get along. But I'm also kind of disappointed in Sincere, because my thing is that this is your name, this is your brand, and you're standing behind this showcase. You had a lot invested in this. You should have made sure she was on point. You should have made sure she had vocal lessons, that she practiced her set, you know what I'm saying, for at least a week before you put her on stage. You should have been told her to hit the gym. You know, he saw how unprepared she was, you know what I'm saying, a few days before this. So why would you put your name and your brand behind her when you could look at her and tell she wasn't prepared? Her outfit wasn't on point. She just looked really, really messy. You know, the whole situation is just really sad. Tia Marie really wants her career to be popping again. If she doesn't chill with the damn bipolar moods swings, the anger issues, the drinking, she's not going to make it far in this industry. You know what I'm saying? She was ready with Rockefeller and she messed that up. And now she's trying to do her own independent thing. But this whole reality TV show is definitely not going to help her career because now we're seeing her for who she really is. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have Little Fizz and Amanda. They're going shopping for Cameron. They're going to go buy him some shoes because he's playing basketball or something like that. And Little Fizz is like, you know what? This is what I need you to do. This is why I want you to live with me. This is why I want you to be a mother to my son. I need you to go shopping for Cameron while I'm in the studio making hits, while I'm, doing what I need to do, bringing home money. I need you to be there in my corner. I need us to be a family. And Amanda's like, you know what? I'm thinking about it. I'll see. I don't know yet. It's just a lot for me. It's very, very overwhelming. So then they get up in the car, and all of a sudden Amanda's phone starts ringing. Little Fizz is like, okay, well, go ahead and answer it. So she makes a mistake by answering her phone on speakerphone, and Little Fizz hears that she has a reservation for a restaurant down in Miami. So Little Fizz is like, hold up, what do you mean you have a reservation for a restaurant down in Miami? I didn't know you was going to Miami. And as we all know, her little indiscretion, he lives in Miami. So now Little Fizz is really upset. He feels like, you know what, Amanda's trying to play him again. He's trying to run back to that dude. And, Amanda's like, you need to trust me. I'm tired of this. You're putting too much pressure on me. And I do agree with her. I feel like Little Fizz is putting too much pressure on her. My thing is, it's not Amanda's job to sit there and take your son shopping and go buy your son shoes. Again, if you want somebody who wants to be a mother to your child, I think Little Fizz needs to get with somebody who is a mother. Amanda's not a mother. Amanda's trying to live her life. Amanda's still young. I think he needs to get with the girl who's a single mother herself, and then maybe they can raise their kids together. But he's putting way too much on her plate, and he's going to end up pushing her back into the arms of Mr. Miami, who's single, who probably doesn't have any attachments, any kids, or anything like that. And my thing is, if Moniece is calling and she's trying to be a part of the little boy's life, Little Fizz needs to give her that opportunity. Little Fizz needs to give her that chance, Let Moniece, who's the mother of this child, go and buy Cameron some shoes, and let Moniece try and step up. But you can't just block her from being a mother to your child and then try and force Amanda into that role when she clearly does not want to be bothered. I'm to the point now where I think Little Fizz and nagging ass Nia, they need to get together. They need to be a couple and raise their kids together, since they want these two single people to be fathers and be mothers to their children. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think anybody who's single who doesn't have kids needs to be tied down with somebody else's kids unless they so choose to. I don't think it's right or it's fair to pressure somebody who does not have children and force them into the role of a parent that they're not ready for. Now, if they're ready to take on that role, then that's cool. But if they don't want to, you cannot force somebody to take care of your child or to be a parent to your child. It just doesn't work that way. If Little Fizz wants somebody to be a parent to his child, he needs to get with another single mother so that way they can do their single parenting thing in the household. Because I'm starting to see that this relationship may not work with Amanda because he's putting just way too much pressure on her. Moving on to the next scene. So in the last and final scene, we have Miss Nikki Baby. So Miss Nikki Baby's inviting her mother over to her place, and they're cooking dinner for Molly Mall. So they're inviting Molly Mall over there. And Miss Nikki Baby has told her mother everything. She showed her the text messages, everything that Masika told her. So now they're waiting to set Molly up. So Molly comes and he's giving hugs and kisses and he's really excited, and he sits down and eat this fabulous dinner, and he's getting his eat on, I'm saying? The food is tasting good, he's feeling good, his belly's getting full. Unfortunately for Molly, there was no room for dessert because Miss Nikki Baby Mama went in on him. She was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. I can't sit here any longer and watch you eat my food. You need to stop disrespecting my daughter. You cheated on her with Masika. We saw the text messages. The mother starts going off on Molly, and Molly's like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are you snapping on me? This don't have nothing to do with you. This is between me and Nikki, and you forget me and Nikki were not together. So even if I did mess with her, even if I was with Masika, it doesn't matter. I wasn't with you. And Nikki's like, but you told her that you loved her. And he was like, yeah, because she said she loved me. That's the homegirl. And Nikki's like, you know what? You took it way too far when you told her that you loved her. That's some bullshit. And I'm sitting here like, bitch, she was just cool with him getting his, getting his dick sucked by her. But now that he told her that he loved her, that's just the final straw. You know what I'm saying? That's just the worst thing he could do. But the whole time last week, he was bragging about how you didn't care that he got some head from her. It's like Miss Nikki Baby's just seriously confused. And her mother's not helping the situation. So finally, Molly Mom's like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't need all this. I'm rich. I'm sexy. I'm a baller. I hang with Justin Bieber. Now, you didn't say all that, but that's how he was acting like, who the hell are y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'm Molly Mall. So he gets up and he starts walking out the house, and Miss Nikki Baby goes running behind him like, Jamal, where are you going? So you're not going to fight for me? You're not going to fight and defend me and stand by me? And then he's like, nah, fuck that. You're the lowest piece of shit I ever met in my life. I'm like, damn. I had to clutch my invisible damn pearls, y'all. I was like, shit, let me go ahead and close up my shirt. He went hard as hell at Nikki Baby. He called her the lowest piece of shit he's ever met. I'm like, wow. but this is a dude that she's been fighting another woman for the past few weeks. This is just ridiculous as hell. I love how Miss Nikki Baby Carter is trying to throw the plant that he got her out the house, but honey, it don't matter how far you throw that plant, your ass still walked away with egg all over your damn face. He clonked the shit out of you. So anyways, that was my recap for this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. This week's episode was crazy. I'm glad I got to watch it, and I'm glad I got to do the recap earlier. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. And if you're not following me, make sure that you follow me. I am at LovelyT on Twitter, and I'm LovelyT2002 on Instagram. All right, deuces.